All right, so let's get into it, man. It's news for the run. So some college football. I gave you guys the rankings from last week, but this time I'm going to give you a couple of the games that I know I for sure will be watching this upcoming Saturday. So starting off Friday night, I'm not going to catch the Friday night game. It's UNLV and San Jose State. Should be good, but if nothing else is on, maybe I'll tune into some NBA, but I probably won't watch that, but up to you. Just want to throw that out there. If you're listening, it is Friday night for you. Maybe you can tune on a game. But the main game I'm going to have all eyes on is Indiana versus Ohio State. This is a major matchup here. This is happening in Columbus, Ohio. So Ohio State will have the home field advantage. Now this is number 2 versus number 5. Number 5 is Indiana, but mind you, Indiana still has not lost a single game yet this season. A lot of people have been calling Indiana frauds because they haven't played the best of the competition, but this is one of the teams here where you're matching up against the best of the best. And also, I'm on the side where I think Indiana is going to take care of business on the road just because of the fact, man, yeah, they haven't played the best of the best, but man, they've been putting up some huge point margins, and hey, we will see in this matchup against Ohio State this upcoming Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So for East Coast and Pacific, hey, y'all got to figure it out. Other than that, man, another game I'm going to watch too probably is Ole Miss in Florida. Number 9 is Ole Miss right now. Florida, this is a good SEC matchup. So, it's always going to be some good football there. You got Texas and Kentucky. Texas should probably take care of business here. They're sitting at number 3. Kentucky is unranked, but of course, you never know. This is, could be a trap game, as they say, or another matchup where Kentucky is looking to try and upset and knock down a Power 5 school or a top 5 school that's ranked right now. Penn State, Minnesota definitely has my eye in the Big Ten. Colorado, Kansas should be a good one. Colorado has been taking care of business so far. They're ranked number 16. Kansas is unranked, so they definitely can't afford to lose this game. They would probably get knocked out of the top 25 and lose that chance of getting to the playoffs and having a bowl game. Other than that, man, Army and Notre Dame. Now, this is a game here. Definitely want to check out Army and Notre Dame just for the fact that Army, man, they're 9-0. They're still one of the last undefeated teams left. And so far, man, Army, you can say what you want about the competition of them not playing the best schools, but they've been whacking some of these teams, man, putting up some good numbers against these teams. And I say, go ahead, check them out. They're playing against number 6, Notre Dame, who's only lost 1 game so far. Notre Dame, they lost to a smaller school in Northern Illinois. So this could be a chance where they lose to another school that they should probably beat when you look at the upset charts of a number 6 school versus a number 19. But hey, I got to check out Army because they're undefeated, and I want to see what that's going on. But that's happening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Do the math wherever you are. Boise State and Wyoming should also be a good game. But also the main one here, I got to watch. I hope my team takes care of business. Alabama versus Oklahoma should be a solid game. This game is happening in Oklahoma. So I'm expecting a good matchup, man. And hopefully, Alabama takes care of business because they already lost 2 games and they're 4-2 in the SEC. So I'm just, man, whew. I'm a little worried about that one. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little worried. But anyway, I hope that turns out good. Anyway, I got some news for the run in the NFL. In the NFL here, the New York Giants are all over the tabloids. So New York Giants will officially bench Daniel Jones for reasons that summed up to be a football decision. Now, Giants are 2-8, so we know the playoffs are not happening. But although Daniel Jones is completely healthy, it's rumored the Giants benched him to protect the team from the next year's $23 million injury guarantee. So, of course, if Daniel Jones got injured, then Giants would be out of $23 million and paying him while he can't actually participate and play in the facility. So the New York Jets, they're also in the news. The Jets, they're making changes to the front office. They've been having a lot of different changes so far this season. We've seen them lose their head coach, offensive coordinator was promoted, and now they fired their GM. So they're losing a lot of different pieces. I don't know if this is Aaron Rodgers doing, but Joe Douglas is no longer there. He's no longer a part of the team with the Giants front office. Now, some of the games you can look forward to this week coming up in the NFL should be pretty good. You got the Vikings and the Bears, another NFC North matchup that should be great. Obviously, we've seen what happened to the Bears last week against the Packers game. A lot of people thought the Bears almost had it. They should have won, but just did not go their way. Lions versus the Colts should be a smackdown. I'm anticipating another 45, another 50 piece. We know how the Lions been getting down lately. Dolphins play the Patriots. Shouldn't be anything special. I probably won't keep too much of an eye on that. Cowboys and the Commanders should be good. A conference matchup. This game is happening in Maryland. Commanders are at home, so Cowboys on the road. Maybe they look to turn it around. 5-game losing streak. Maybe it ends here. Who knows? Chiefs, they play the Panthers, so we know what that's going to be. Panthers probably going to walk away with an L, even though they're at home. Texans and the Titans, Broncos and the Raiders playing each other. Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. This is a game where I think we should definitely see some good play. I will say the Packers did not look that great against the Bears. Bears do have a solid defense, but Packers, from a team we're expecting a lot of, they didn't really look all that great. A lot of people could say the same about the 49ers too, though, but I'll still probably pay a lot of attention to that game. You got the Cardinals and the Seahawks, which should be good as well. Cardinals, they're 6-4 right now, trying to find a way to stay positive and get away from 500 as much as they can on the positive side. Seahawks, they're exactly at 500, trying to get above 500. So we'll see what happens with that. That game is going to be played in Seattle, but I mean, hey, that should be a solid game to watch as well. And then primetime game, you got the Eagles versus the Rams. Eagles been on a tear, but a lot of people been whispering and saying they ain't played no competition yet. So this is partially some competition. Matthew Stafford is never going to go down easy with the Rams. And then, he's got some of his healthy receiving options back. So we'll see what really happens in this primetime matchup. Monday Night Football, you got the Ravens and the Chargers as well, which should be a spectacular performance. Chargers 7-3, Ravens 7-4. Ravens done lost back-to-back games. In games, a lot of people deemed they should have won. Should be something special here in this matchup. But Thursday Night Football, this is where we come to an end with the news. This game is happening tonight. Maybe you already watched it because it's Friday, or maybe you're about to watch it right now. But you got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. And I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm really not sure how I feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I haven't really figured it out with the Steelers. Like, I don't know if they're actually that good or if they're just like winning games in lucky ways and just dodging losses more than they're actually winning games, because they just beat the Ravens, only kicking field goals. They didn't score a touchdown. This is the second time that happened. It happened against the Atlanta Falcons in week 1. They beat the Falcons, didn't score a touchdown, only field goals. And then it just happened again. They played the Ravens. A lot of people thought the Ravens was going to walk all over them, and that did not happen. Steelers ended up winning. Kicked the hell out of some field goals, ended up winning the ball game. So it's like they're playing against the Browns. I think the Steelers are gonna end up winning. Obviously, the Browns have had their own struggles in trying to figure things out. Jameis Winston's been trying to figure some things out, but I don't think the Steelers will let that happen. Like when you consider the factors that's going in their favor right now. 5-game winning streak. They beat both good and bad teams, so you really can't talk bad about the Steelers and what they're doing, because you got to give them credit for beating the good teams too, no matter how you want to put it, of they've been getting lucky, this has been happening, I don't know if they're actually legit, whatever the case is. I mean, they're still winning games. A win is a win in the NFL, and I always say, no matter if it's ugly, if it's cute, if it's a cheating type of win, those wins don't come easy in the NFL, man. Don't come easy at all. So I'm curious if the Browns will actually step up. We know same division, AFC North, anything can truly happen when you're playing teams in your same division. I don't know why, but that's just the way it always seems to work out. Whenever we see these divisional matchups, that's when the team who's underestimated decides they want to turn into the 2008 Patriots and really just put on a show. So we really don't know. I think the Steelers will win, but it'll be interesting to watch, man. Above all, Browns, they ain't been hot stuff this year. they ain't been hot stuff at all. They won like 1 of the last 8 games that they played. So they haven't been hot stuff at all. We've seen Jameis Winston have 1 good game against the Ravens. I don't know why the Ravens is just the team that everybody decides to play good against. But again, this is what I mean. The same conference, the same division is where teams really start to just turn up. Browns played the Ravens. Nobody thought the Ravens was going to lose that game. And then all of a sudden, Jameis Winston has himself a night. So it's interesting. Anything can truly happen. And I don't think that will be the case tonight with the Steelers and the Browns. But this is a game I wouldn't bet on. I wouldn't bet money line on this game. Wouldn't do that. Other than that, man, I did actually place a bet. We're going to share that really quick before we wrap up the episode. And then I'll, give you guys some, just a positive note to end on. But I did go ahead and throw something out there. So hopefully it does win. If you watch the game or if you're listening to it after the game, I mean, obviously you're going to know if it hit or not. But I did a play, man, and it's a plus. It has a bonus onto it, a plus 33% parlay boost. It's a 4-pick parlay. The odds are 1,064. So some pretty decent odds on it, but I had a George Pickens TD, anytime touchdown. Nick Chubb, anytime touchdown score. Nick Chubb, 40 rushing yards. George Pickens, 40 rushing yards. This, I tried to play it somewhat safe, but just considering it's going to be kind of an ugly night out there with the weather and all of that, I figure Nick Chubb is definitely going to get his fair share of touches where he can pick up 40 yards. And I also figure, the Browns aren't the best team to throw the ball in the red zone. So, of course, they're going to be trying to hand it off to Nick Chubb, hopefully get him involved heavily whenever they're in the red zone. And then with George Pickens, man, George Pickens has had 40 yards in 8 out of his last 10 games this season. So, obviously, we know the weather is going to be a factor, but I still think he'll pick up 40 yards because the way I look at it is that's just one pass. That could be one pass. That could be one deep bomb, and that's easily way above 40 yards. And then for the touchdown, he's been getting an insane amount of targets in the red zone. 38% of the Steelers' red zone targets goes to George Pickens. So this is where I'm like, all right, I feel comfortable with him possibly getting some sort of fade ball in the red zone, or maybe he does take it big and cut it all the way up to the touchdown. So I don't know. We'll see, man. Hopefully it happens, though. Don't recommend telling just because I don't want anybody to ever have their losses on me or their wins. I mean, it's on you. If you want to, it's at your own risk. But I tell other people that I don't come up with, I rarely ever come up with my own bets, truth be told. I'm not going to sit here and cap to you about it. I usually tell other people and what bets I see. They present the research. I choose if I want to go with it or not. And I mean, we win. Sometimes we lose. So we'll see. But this was going to be a win tonight, hopefully. But other than that, man, that's all I got for y'all today. I appreciate you if you've been kicking it. Of course, just hanging with us. I'm going to leave y'all with a positive note. The positive note I'll say, man, is embrace the day. Just embrace the day in front of you. Whether it's an ugly, gloomy day like we've been seeing a lot lately out here in Chicago, or if it's, bright and sunny, just embrace the day as if it's your last. I know it sounds harsh, but you just truly, genuinely never really know. So you got to make the best out of every single moment. Make the best out of the people you love that's nearby you. Make the best out of the time and situations that you love and that you get to experience. So accept it however you want to accept that. And other than that, man, hey, I'm up out of here. About tired as hell, boy. So I'm about to watch this game. And other than that, we'll be back later on next week. It'll probably be a funky week next week too because of Thanksgiving. So you'll see. Just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. Whatever. Send this to a cousin, a brother, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, coworker, friend, anyone you know. And I promise you they're not gonna mind, especially if I talked about their team. Send this to Michael Parsons. Had to hold him accountable. Other than that, man, I'm up out of here, and I'll see y'all later on next week, and so on and so on and so on.